Welcome, guys, to CC Ngu podcast. Engineer CC, we're excited to have you here in the studio. Today, we're starting a new book series titled The Pulpits That Blinded Africa. This book discussed how weaponized religion stole Africa's mind, progress, and promise. And in today's episode, we'll be discussing the prologue, the day Africa began to ask why. Engineer CC, how can a continent so rich in faith be so poor in progress?
That's the question that changed everything. The day Africa stopped shouting amen long enough to whisper, why? Hospitals are collapsing, schools are struggling, infrastructure is failing, governance is weak. Everywhere worship, nowhere wisdom.
So what happened?
Africa didn't lose faith. If anything, she multiplied it. Sunday, church is packed. Friday, night vigil. Saturday, miracle crusades. We were taught to uproot ancestral curses, but not to fix broken systems.
So the prayers grew louder, but society stayed stagnant.
Because spirituality replaced strategy.
But Engineer CC, religion isn't evil.
No, not at all. Religion is powerful. But when power is controlled and corrupted, it becomes a weapon.
A weapon?
Yes, a weapon. Religion killed curiosity. It shamed intelligence. It punished questioning. It rewarded blind obedience. It has to change.
So instead of empowering people, it controlled them?
Exactly. To them, poverty became demons. Bad governance became witches. Natural disasters became curses. And a continent full of potential became dependent.
Let's talk about something uncomfortable, the politician and the pastor.
Yes, that's always a complex topic. The pastor publicly announces and anoints the politician, while the politician funds and protects the cathedral.
The pastor says, touch not the anointed.
And the congregation obeys without discernment. What do you expect? If the pulpit despises knowledge, parliament will despise planning. Also, when the same pulpit glorifies escape, government will neglect responsibility and accountability.
So the crisis isn't just political.
That's what I'm saying. It's spiritual miseducation.
But here's the irony. The Bible itself teaches planning.
Correct. Proverbs praises discipline. Nehemiah rebuilt the nation strategically. Joseph mastered administration. Daniel excelled intellectually. Yet somehow religion muted those stories, overshadowed by sermons that promoted fear instead of wisdom.
That's a powerful observation.
The Bible didn't fail Africa. Africa fails to interpret the Bible responsibly. Our ancestors were told to abandon their minds to prove their faith, to reject science to demonstrate holiness, to ignore reality and focus only on eternity.
And generations are now paying for that theology?
Exactly. But those still in religious bondage aren't seeing it yet.
So how do we help them see? By speaking truth.
Correct.
But Engineer CC, some believers would see this book as an attack against faith.
But it isn't an attack on faith. It's a defense of true faith. Faith that thinks, faith that builds, faith that questions, faith that transforms society. A young believer asked, why do we have 300 church branches but no functional hospital? A student asked, why is my pastor angry when I ask questions?
That's a tough one. Maybe the pastor feels challenged or insecure.
A father asked, why must I sow a seed for everything? A teacher asked, why do we demonize science? And the whisper spread from villages to cities, from WhatsApp groups to universities, until it became a movement of believers who love God deeply but refuse manipulation.
So this conversation, this book, it's not rebellion?
No, it's responsibility.
And it's not destroying faith?
Not at all. It's rather rebuilding it. For the youth tired of shallow prophecies, for the woman who wants to be spiritual and educated, for the man who wants faith and planning, for leaders tired of performing Christianity instead of practicing it.
When I read the book, I understand that you desire new Africa.
Exactly. That's the vision.
So what does this new Africa look like?
An Africa that prays and plans. An Africa that thinks and faces facts.
Yes, and builds.
An Africa that believes and builds.
Absolutely.
An Africa that trusts God and takes responsibility, not waiting for miracles while neglecting action. Not blaming demons for policy failure. Not confusing fear with faith.
So maybe the revolution doesn't start with a prophecy, as we can see today, right?
Right. It's about now. Organizing crusades and revival meetings cannot build a nation.
I agree. We need more practical solutions.
Exactly. Nation building starts with thoughts, critical questioning, and accountability.
What if God never asked us to abandon the earth he created? All right, we'll stop here, guys. Thank you, Engineer CC, for coming around. Please DM him if you desire private counseling. Also, remember this book is available on Amazon. See you guys in the next episode. My name is Amanda. Thank you.
Thanks, Amanda.